Check, check, test. Two big interceptions, one by Cam Grodhouse and the other by Keon Betancourt, ended the drives and secured the win for you.
Amazing. It was amazing. And actually, one of the young men that had that pick was a transfer, from William Jewell, in Betancourt.
Yeah, Keon Betancourt, he did it against his former team. That had to be special for him.
That had to be sweet for him, And then Cam is one of our captains, and he's playing he's had one heck of a year. But we had a number of guys on that defense, and we had a couple of those student athletes that's here tonight. And, man, what great efforts we've had, especially when you're on the road. I've always told people that defense travels. Defense travels, and whenever you have a defense that can play solid defense and, do it the right way and hustle and fly to the ball, good things happen, So we're happy. Most of that those long road trips are out of the way now. We have one more the following week as we get right here into the tough schedule of the GLIAC.
And the rest of the time, the road games will be commutes, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, once again, we still yet have to go to Chicago. We go up to Houghton, and the other trip, I think, is to Saginaw.
Saginaw Valley.
Yeah.
Okay. One other thing we need to note: you were down. Your punter, Kyle Willian, was down, and
Alec
Willian. Sorry. Alec Willian. And so
we miss Kyle. We love him.
We certainly do miss Kyle.
And we love his brother.
We talked about him. Willian Incorporated, I call it.
Yeah.
All right, but you brought in young man Cal Doyle, who had never punted for you before. He did a heck of a job. In fact, he had the second longest punt in Davenport history of 83 yards that flipped the field at a key point of that game, and he was named GLIAC Special Teams Player of the Week for his effort. He
was also, I don't know if you know this, he was named National Player of the Week as well, special teams, on D2.com, D2football.com. So what a tremendous honor, and how about the opportunity that, was given, and he took advantage of that opportunity. He went out and he helped. He legitimately helped us win that football game, just by flipping the field, as you're talking about, because that was a good football team, well-coached football team. He has those guys playing over there. He's changed that culture at William Jewell, and we were able to come back with it. But and Cal had a lot to do with that.
And on the offensive side, both of your quarterbacks contributed. Dwan Mathis, his first touchdown as a Panther. Good to see that. And Michael Horo also did a fine job connecting on a touchdown pass.
Correct. Both of them are playing well. And, obviously we're still getting better, and they could play better. And they're embracing what we're doing here, and they're looking good at it. It was good to see Dwan back healthy, because he got dinged up a little bit. And just seeing him come back healthy, man, and fly around this week, I'm excited about both of those guys because a tough situation, they've embraced it, and we're getting good results.
Well, Coach, we're going to have you back later in the show to talk about this week's opponent. Second ranked in the nation, Grand Valley State comes to town this Saturday at 12 noon at the Farmers Insurance Athletic Complex. Make your plans, get out there, and get there early. Grand Valley's going to bring a lot of folks. We need to get all the Panther fans in there, so make your plans to join us for that one. Coach, we'll talk to you in a bit. We'll take a quick time out, and we'll come back with Gimonte Peck, our next guest here. So stay with us on the Davenport Coaches Show here, coming to you live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Right here, bud. The Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's in Caledonia. Stop out here. Great team. Boy, I tell you what, this place was hopping when I got here to set up this afternoon. Everybody cheering on the Tigers, and, man, they were making a lot of noise, pounding the bar, pounding the tables. A lot of excitement, and congrats to the Tigers for moving on in the baseball playoffs once again. But we're staying with our football theme right now. Gimonte Peck, a senior defensive lineman from Cincinnati, all GLIAC first team last year. Before we talk about this year's touch on last year, I thought you really came into your own, Gimonte. What was the key, do you think, to really establishing yourself as a legitimate GLIAC player?
Really just trying to, get better each and every day and just, trying to give everything I got every day.
Did you do anything different in the summer before the season last year or this year, or has it usually been pretty much the same training each year?
I got in better shape. That's what did it for me.
What were the keys to getting in better shape besides running more? Did it change your diet? What happened?
Yeah, I changed my diet, and I was trying to run more, just doing something every day. What I did, different from what I did the year before.
What about the diet? What changed on that?
The diet, I just cut back on, different foods and stuff. And
the late night foods?
Yeah, late night foods, and got more greens and stuff like that.
Great move. Let's talk a little bit about this team. We talked with Sparky about this. The 3-0 on the road, very, very impressive. Those 3 road wins follow the same formula. You guys get off to the lead. Mm-hmm. Then the other team seems to come back in the third quarter, and your defense then steps up big in the fourth quarter. That's happened 3 times in a row on the road. What allows that defense to come together in that clutch moment to put the stops up?
Our defense, we got a lot of playmakers, and we just embrace the opportunity of being on the field no matter what.
You went to Taft High School in Cincinnati under Coach Jeff Cargile. Tell us about your time there in Cincinnati at high school ball with Coach Cargile and what he or maybe some other coach really showed you to get you into a collegiate opportunity.
They just showed us how to be like. They just showed us how to be like great football players. Like, just showed us the right way. Like,
Was there somebody in your past that helped you off the field, that helped you become the person you are more besides family? Was there something, or was it a family member who helped you grow as a person the most?
I'm gonna say my dad. My dad been there my whole life, and just helped me every day, each and every day, just to be a better person and a player.
Gimonte, what were your personal goals going into this season as far as what you wanted to accomplish?
I want first team all conference and All-American. That's my goal. And championship.
Well, you're off to a great start. You've got 22 tackles, 5.5 TFLs, those tackles for loss, and 2 sacks so far. And you've been really close to about 3 or 4 other sacks, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
What's the key to getting a sack, and especially now we get in more GLIAC play?
You just got to be, like, relentless. You just got to want it. You just got to want it each and every play. Just go out there and play hard every play.
I know that your favorite team is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're having a little bit of a rough season so far, but they finally got a win.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player that you admire the most?
Right now, Joe Burrow.
Who is?
Joe Burrow, the quarterback.
Oh, Joe from the Bengals? Yeah, and I think he's going to do well. Gimonte, you majored in business. What are you thinking about doing with that degree once your football days are done, whenever that comes to an end?
Right now, I don't know exactly, but I definitely look into it more once I get there.
All right. You want to have your own business, or do you want to work for somebody else?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have my own business, for sure.
Tell us about when you first heard about Davenport, who contacted you, and what appealed to you, what drew you here to West Michigan eventually? What caught your eye?
The way that when I got recruited, it was really Coach Mello, and Coach Mello, the way Coach Mello recruited me, he sold it to me great.
Great. All right. Well, good. What do you do outside of football and not classroom? What do you do just for your own self, for your own personal enjoyment?
I really just like watching other sports like basketball. I like basketball a lot, and I like baseball. I just like watching other sports.
All right, great. Well, Gimonte, we're glad we got you here. Great job so far. I know you're enjoying some of that good food here at Uccello, so let's get you back there and have a great time. Thanks again for joining us.
What's up, thank you.
Gimonte Peck, our special guest. He mentioned other sports. Speaking of other sports, we're going to shift and talk women's soccer as we continue here with the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's in Caledonia. The Davenport Coaches Show continues to roll on, and we're talking football with Gimonte Peck and Sparky McEwen, but now we're going to talk women's soccer. Joe White, second year heading up the program after his first year with Davenport last year in 23. Joe, let's talk about, first of all, what you learned in that first year and how that's helped you this year as the head coach.
Yeah, the first year was a lot of learning lessons. I think we done okay, made great strides, great improvements, but we learned how tough the GLIAC is in women's soccer, but also how easy it is to compete if we get it right. So we last year was a lot of competing, trying to stay in games, trying to nick a nick a point, nick a tie, nick a victory here and there, but we made a lot of significant strides. But this year is about taking it to teams, trying to get some victories, and changing the style a little bit to try and dominate a little bit more.
Team 2-3-3, and I think you've been in a one-goal situation almost every single game.
Yep.
I'm not going to pretend to know your sport because I don't, Coach, but what is it, when the games are so almost always one goal deciding it, what are a couple of the fine points that decide who wins those one-goal games and who loses those one-goal games?
Yeah, that's where it comes down to the small details. So it's about who makes the error, who doesn't make the error, who competes the best, who's a little bit more intense, who plays 90-minute games rather than taking plays off, and that's a lot of what we're teaching right now. A lot of intensity, a lot of competition, and making sure we're going to be a 90-minute team rather than a 75, 80-minute team.
What's this team like this year? What's the personality team? Some teams can be kind of goofball teams and still turn it on. Other teams are real serious. Where does this team fit in this year?
I think we're probably right in the middle. I think we're a highly competitive group, which is what we've been trying to instill in the last 18 months since we started. We took over a group of a lot of great personalities, but not a group that was competitive and wanted to win all of the time, and I think that's what we've got now. So now we've got that balance of we have a good time and we emphasize the fun of soccer. I think we all play the game, and I coach the game, and all of our coaching staff coach the game because we enjoy it, and that's always got to be at the forefront of our minds, but not at the expense of the competition and wanting to win and wanting to be there to compete with absolutely everyone in our conference. And we've done a good job turning that around. I think we're not the team that everyone looks forward to playing anymore, which is important. We're the team that we're a team that people don't like playing. We're aggressive. We play the game on the front foot, and we're exciting at times too.
Well, the one person that you wanted to see back most this year, besides yourself, that's the first person you wanted back, had to be senior Haley DeKeevers, and she's leading you once again with a couple of goals and 4 assists, and she 2 and 2 make that, and she's the mainstay of your team, right?
Yes. No, Haley's number one, a great leader, a great person. She's she leads by example. She is a hard-working kid. She's competitive. She's a great soccer player, right? She gets herself some great chances. She creates for her teammates, and she scores goals herself. So we rely on her, and I feel like this year we've got a lot of players that help her as well. So we're starting to see the best of Haley now as well.
Well, she's at the one end of the spectrum in terms of experience. At the other end, a freshman, Ella Chatfield's come on, and she's raised some eyebrows already.
Yeah, no, Ella's a great first-year player for us. She's played almost every minute. I think she's probably had about 5 or 6 minutes off the field the whole season. Scored 2 crucial goals early in the season. I think the game-tying goal at Northwood, and one of our 2 goals at Truman State, and both headers. She's a dominant player, even for a young player. She's 18, but she's dominant. She's physical. She wins all the aerial duels. But she's a great leader and a great worker too. So we're very reliant on her even as a freshman. She's a great player, but again a great personality to have in the team.
Joe, give us 1 or 2 areas that this team has to get better still.
Putting the ball in the back of the net, hardest thing to do in soccer. I think it's we've done a lot of work over the last week on our goal scoring, our habits in and around the goal, and we're seeing improvement. We scored a great goal against Ferris State in this last game, and we're excited for this Sunday and putting a few goals past Grand Valley.
Now, you and I, folks listening at home, you think we've got a lot on our plate. Let me run down this guy's his employers. He's employed by Midwest United Football Club here in Grand Rapids, a top-notch program there. He's also the USL pre-professional women's team head coach. He's the head coach for the under-14 and under-13 ECNL teams. How do you find the time to measure? I mean, to put all the appropriate time to all those different areas, Coach?
Well, it's easy when you're doing something that you enjoy doing all the time, right? So I'm lucky enough to have a job that I get to be on a soccer field for the majority of the day. I get to be around soccer people. I have a great team around me, assistant coaches, my wife, and it's a lot of patience from my wife to put up with it. But again, I'm incredibly fortunate to do what I do. I love every aspect of my life, and it's busy, especially in the fall. But I wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
And from coaching at the professional level all the way down to under 14, under 13, how do you balance the expectations? You know, because did you ever find yourself expecting them to do something that maybe is beyond what level you're coaching?
Yeah, no, I think you've got to change your tone. I think the is the biggest thing. I think when you're coaching the U13s, the U14s, it's obviously a lot of development coaching rather than win at all costs, right? Where you get to the college and professional, you've almost got to prioritize the winning and prioritize the competing, whereas at younger age groups you prioritize in the development. But I think that makes it easier to switch in between, and when you've got such a difference in ages, difference in abilities, it's you can differentiate those jobs, and it becomes a little bit easier.
Quite a weekend at the Farmers Insurance Athletic Complex. We mentioned on Saturday, Davenport's hosting Grand Valley State, number 2 in the nation, coming into town. Your home Sunday against Grand Valley State, number 2 in the nation, at 12 noon, right?
2 o'clock.
I'm sorry, 2 o'clock. Yep. 2 o'clock at 2 o'clock, so get out there and watch. What are the keys for you having a chance to upset the Lakers?
I think the big thing is we know we're close. We played them 3 times last year. We lost by a goal on each occasion. The home game was especially close. I think we outshot them by a shot or 2. We were unfortunate they scored very late in the game. A quick fun fact: Claire Brault, who scored the goal against us, now plays for us. She transferred in, so we're hoping she scores the winning goal again. But obviously for the Panthers this time on Sunday.
That would be great to see. Joe White, always great visiting with you. Thanks for stopping by, and good luck this Sunday against Grand Valley State, 2 o'clock at the farm.
2 o'clock.
And hope you can get that win, and we'll see you down the road.
All right, thank you.
Joe White, our special guest, will switch gears and go back to football as Justin White, defensive back, joins us here. It continues on with the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's in Caledonia. The Davenport Coaches Show, Uccello's in Caledonia. We're here Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Come on out and enjoy the show here in person if you like. If not, you got all kinds of things. They've got 100 large screen TVs everywhere you look. And as we said earlier today, they were packed in for the Tiger game today. Hopefully next Wednesday the Tigers are playing still. But either way, come out and have a great time and enjoy some of this great food. Our next guest, Justin White, defensive back. He's a grad student, already has his undergraduate degree. And he's joined us here this year from Atlanta and Los Angeles. And then you played for Michigan State.
Yes,
and now
sir.
You're here. You have seen the country, my friend, already, haven't you?
Yeah.
Tell us, first of all, how you grew up in Atlanta. What took you to Los Angeles?
Parents working, new job opportunities.
Okay. Was that hard? How old were you when you transferred out there?
I moved out there when I was like 9 years old. So I was
Okay.
still pretty young.
So you were still young, just learning out there.
Yeah.
You went to Calabasas. Am I saying that right?
Yes, sir.
Calabasas High School under Coach Chris Claiborne.
Chris Claiborne, yes,
Claiborne.
sir.
Tell us about your high school career. I know you had an outstanding one there, but tell us what you remember about it and how it prepped you to become a college football player.
I would first want to say thank you to the coaching staff that I had. I had a lot of NFL coaches. So they came. They were former NFL players, so they were able to teach me a lot and kind of coach me up on the game.
Was there somebody, Justin, that outside of the playing field that helped you grow into the young man that you are outside of football?
Yeah, my dad, honestly.
Tell us what he brought to you.
He taught me a lot about discipline, about remaining focused even when, times are hard or when it seems like you're not getting your way, always maintaining your role and kind of playing your role and being a team player.
Now, from Atlanta to Los Angeles to Michigan State to Davenport, how did you become a Kansas City Chiefs fan? Where did that come from?
So I grew up watching Oregon as a kid. That was my favorite college team. And so DeAnthony Thomas, when he went to the NFL, his first team, I believe, was the Kansas City Chiefs, or at least he ended up on the Chiefs at one point in time. And so that's when they became my favorite team, and that's when they ended up having Jamal Charles at the time, and Alex Smith was the quarterback still.
Now, be honest, when you became an Oregon fan, the uniforms had to be part of it, wasn't it?
100%. 100%.
Let's talk about your game this year. Again, you had a big game against William Jewell. You had 8 solo tackles and a total of 9, 1 TFL. 8 solos from the DB is a lot. How did you rate your game Saturday in Missouri?
I gave myself a B grade, personally. I would like to turn some of those solo tackles into PBUs because a lot of them were catch tackles.
Okay. So that's one area that you're working on to make those pass breakups as well?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned Sean Taylor. Who are a couple other your favorite players in the NFL right now?
Currently, I like Jalen Ramsey. I know he plays receiver, but I like J-Mo as well. I like the electricity he brings to the game. And that's pretty much it, really, those two, Jalen Ramsey and J-Mo. Two of my favorites.
How about your two teammates on the defensive end, Cam Grothaus and Keon Betancourt, with those 2 big interceptions in the last 2 drives? Tell us about those and how big that was.
First and foremost, I want to start off saying that Cam Grothaus should have had 2 picks. He picked the first one, but they definitely cheated my boy on that one. But that first pick kind of gave us a good bit of momentum that we had because we kind of gave it away during the game, and then we managed to get it back. And then for KB transferring from William Jewell and being able to seal the game at his former school, that was a great thing to see.
Now, you've got your undergrad degree already.
Yes, sir.
You're getting your master's in sport management, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do, let's say, whenever your football days are done, what would you like to do?
I want to pursue what I'm getting my degree in, for sure, but I definitely want to get into the rental car business, and I want to start my own exotic rental car company.
Do you? Exotic?
Yes,
where did that interest come from?
I've always liked cars, and something that I've learned from kind of doing my research on rental cars is that the more cars you have, the more you get to drive them. And so I get to drive them as well as put them onto sites and stuff like that and charge other people to drive them as well.
Where would you like to, again, you've been all across this country. Where would you like to settle down and have this business?
At the moment, I would say Georgia, personally, somewhere in Atlanta, probably.
Back to Atlanta?
Yeah.
Still have family back there?
Yeah, definitely.
How about your family? How often do they get to see you play? Because they're not too close either here.
Both my parents actually live in Detroit. They live
in Detroit now. Okay, so they're able to get over and see you play?
Mm-hmm.
Great, all right. All right, what's this team got to do to get over that next edge and take the next step up?
We got to come out with discipline. We got to execute the scheme that we, scheme up and have fun doing it. Enjoy ourselves. As long as we have fun as a team, I feel like as long as we go out there, have fun, execute, and dominate, we'll be great.
All right, Justin, doing a great job. Thanks for stopping by. I want to hit you back over to that great Uccello's food.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Justin White, our special guest. Take one break. Sparky will come back and join us. We'll talk about this week's opponent, Grand Valley State, on the Davenport Coaches Show. Final segment of the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's in Caledonia. Head coach Sparky McEwen joins us right now to look ahead to this week's matchup. We mentioned with Joe White, they've got the number 2 ranked team in the nation in soccer, Grand Valley State, coming to town Sunday. You've got the number 2 ranked team in the nation in college football in Division II, Grand Valley State, coming Saturday, 12 noon. And the Lakers look loaded once again. They're 4-0. That number 2 ranking is earned by them, and it's not a fluke, Coach.
It's a really good football team, and they've done a really good job with assembling a team where they lost a number of guys that started for them, but it's kind of weird because they're I think they truly return about 17 starters. Okay, there's a number of guys that got starts on that team last year, whether it be by injury or just wanting to try some things, but they do a heck of a job of getting developing their depth. And so they're able to roll into their season and just reload. They just reloaded. And offensively, they're playing extremely well. The quarterback, Avery, stepped up, and he's throwing the ball really well, and he's been the field general. And then that offensive line is, it's massive. They get up on you, man. They're very physical, and their defense is suffocating. They come right after you. And, ever since – they've hired Coach Lewis over there. That team has taken a different philosophy on defense, and they get after you pretty well. And, your decisions better be quick, and they better be right. If not, you turn the ball over, a sack or a big loss or, but it's a good program, man, and they're very worthy of that number 2 ranking.
No real secret. One of the keys to this game, they're one of the top rushing teams in the conference. You're one of the best defending the rush. That line of scrimmage in the ground game is going to say a lot about who wins this game.
Absolutely. I've always said it, especially in this conference, you got to be able to rush the football, and we did a much better job